Alright. What up, y'all? It's your man Wayne Train back with another joint, and today I'm here to talk briefly about why I believe you guys should just completely skip the Galaxy S20 line and probably a few others. Yeah, let's get it. So if you don't know who I be, I go by the name Wayne Train, aka Dwayne Mims. I probably should reverse that, but nah, you can search Dwayne Mims or whatever at the top if you're looking to find your boy. But anyway, I do tech reviews, tech talks, anything of that nature, tech news, whatever. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing. But the Galaxy S20, we know this is the same, time of year. The S line comes out early, beginning of the year, and sets us up for the new chips, the new chipsets or whatever, and kind of a preview of what we're gonna get from like the Note and stuff like that. That's how I look at it. So for me, generally, I don't always jump on the S line. I have last year I had the S10 briefly, and I think I had the S8 and a couple other ones, but for the most part, I typically skip the S line and just jump right to the Note line. But with the announcement of like the A65, which is really what I'm interested in more than like ever for whatever reason, but I'm probably gonna try it on a different, Android device. And that's what I suggest to you guys too. But before I get into that though, why I believe you guys shouldn't buy it. So the S20, and like a lot of phones coming up in 2020, which I'll be honest, I was expecting 2020 to be a big year. With all the announcements and everything, so far it's early, surprises and all that stuff can happen still. But right now, for me, it's setting up to be a light year. And the only reason why is because, the A65 is going to change a little bit of that. But aside from that, just looking at the design, form factors of all these phones, just look at the cameras. Every single one of them are basically doing the same thing. Last year, everybody, started doing the little square thing. Well, not everybody, but Google started with the square joint. And now I see that's what's going on now in 2020. We got rectangles now, so you got rectangles, whatever. 4, 5 cameras, just more cameras, and I'm a little tired of it. And I'll be honest with you. As much as I love reviewing tech and all this stuff, the advancements, I'm never gonna deny innovation of any kind of way. But I don't believe this is innovation anymore. I really believe that they're really just kind of duping or, like taking advantage of, the consumer in this way. Now, I know not every phone that's new that comes out is not targeted for the same people every single year. So they got to consistently keep dropping new phones because it's a cycle. Some people may have had a phone for a long time and, now maybe this year, the S20 makes perfect sense for them to upgrade to. And definitely, I understand that. I get that. I'm not saying, they should just stop releasing phones or whatever. But year in and year out, like, it's harder and harder to suggest some of these phones to consumers because how much better is the S20 than the S10? Besides just the bigger number. So, I see if you calling something S20, I feel like it has to be a complete overhaul from the S10, and it's not that. It's basically the same phone, smaller bezels, I believe, camera cutout, different orientation. A65 is the biggest difference in all of this. An additional camera. The A65 is so important because it's bringing a lot of camera upgrades, so that's what the biggest thing is. So getting to my ultimate point, if you can tell from the title, I'm suggesting people to buy something different in 2020. Go buy yourself a nice mirrorless or DSLR and I don't know anything about any of these camera. I'm suggesting this based off of what we're getting from smartphones. A smartphone, for the most part, will never, ever, ever be a DSLR or mirrorless camera or anything of that nature, any kind of replacement. I said it in before that we're kind of getting closer to that, but as for the general public, you know, most people don't really take photos like that or videos like that besides, you know, content creators and just people who are in the business of that, and I mean just hobbyists. I'm not gonna knock the hobbyists. If you want to take photos, it is what it is. You can do that, but that's why I'm suggesting you guys to invest your money into getting yourself a nice camera, because more than likely the camera technology that you have in your phone, your lens, and all that stuff is gonna last far longer than what your smartphone is gonna last. You'll be able to take those same good, beautiful photos and videos for the next few years or more, depending on how long you plan on doing so, versus your smartphone. The camera, you know, for the most part will be fine, but the thing is a drawback. You can't really do anything more once you have this phone and its camera. So like, take my Note 10 Plus. You know, I got my triple camera setup. That's kind of what it is. I'm stuck with my triple camera setup. I buy myself a nice camera. I can change lenses out, can go to macro, can do all kinds of sorts of things with my camera, video and all this stuff, and it's gonna come out a lot better than what I'm gonna get on my phone. So with that being said, I suggest everybody in 2020 to either jump on a last year's flagship, or if you really are interested in like what's coming like new for this year, wait later on, maybe OnePlus, something that's on a more, you know, price friendly side with the nice new chip and all that, instead of the Samsung line, because they're going to be charging $1,000 plus for no matter what. And more than likely every phone this year is going to have 5G capabilities, so you ain't got to worry about that. Last year people were like paying a premium for having 5G early, but it really wasn't 5G for the most part. So this year is the real deal. So now you can go ahead and invest in that. So you'll be getting your 5G phone probably for a little bit cheaper than what you got it for last year. Plus you can go ahead and spend some of that extra money to go get yourself a nice camera. That's what I suggest people to do in 2020. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna take that advice and do it myself. I need a new camera, and I need more cameras for the most part, you know, doing some of this stuff. But like I said, man, smartphones getting boring. S20, only thing that's different is the camera orientation for the most part. Yes, some of the like sensors have upgraded, 64 gig or 64 megapixel lens on the S20, and you know that's parting with the A65, like allowing that kind of like functionality and whatnot. But like I said, it's not really worth it, man. It's not. Just spend your money smart in 2020. If you have last year's flagship, I'm gonna say it straight up right now. If you have an S10, you have a Note 10 Plus, you have a Note 10, you have any of those phones from last year, I'm gonna tell you straight up, it is not gonna be worth the upgrade. Jumping with this year's flagship, straight up. Just looking at what we got coming out, unless you really want to get into the foldables, but you know the prices on those. But anyway, man, that's all I got as far as the S20. I'm gonna be skipping it. I'm gonna wait till later in the year when more budget-friendly A65 capable phones are released. So anyway, man, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd like to know for sure. And yeah, I'll catch y'all later. It's your man. I'm out.